Hey, what's up guys, it's Banana here today with another Destiny 2 video, and in this video I'm going to talk about what I think Bungie's biggest mistake going into Beyond Light was, because I feel like they made a lot of pretty solid changes, especially in the endgame farming category when it comes to those solo lost sectors, but I feel like they had one huge misstep that still just doesn't make sense to me to this day, and this video is just going to be going over that. Before we start, I just want to thank you guys for 1,000 subscribers on this channel. That means a lot to me, and if you aren't subscribed, I would really appreciate a subscription down below. It's the best way you can support the channel, and you can always undo it later if you don't actually want to stay subscribed. But yeah, Bungie has done a lot of cool things. They've done a lot of bad things. I think a lot of people dislike sunsetting as a whole, but this is probably their biggest mistake that I think they made this DLC. And that mistake is ditching old campaigns. So I was playing on my Titan recently, and my Titan has not beaten the Shadowkeep campaign because I deleted him over and over when I was farming spoils earlier on in the season. And now I was grinding through some of the Shadowkeep campaign, and I was getting drops from there, just getting normal drops from the campaign. And they were all sunsetted. And this has been a problem I've noticed in a lot of those old activities, that they just aren't relevant anymore. But it really sucked, and it really made my playthrough of that campaign just feel a lot worse, and I would assume that it feels bad for everyone going into it. Now, you may just be thinking, oh, well, they don't have to care about this old campaign. It's an old campaign. They really don't have people wanting to do it and just grinding it all the time. But they're still selling Shadowkeep and Forsaken for their normal price. They're still selling them on the Steam page on PlayStation. They're still putting all of these DLCs onto the store, and you literally don't get loot from them that is actually usable. Like Pit of Heresy, nothing from in there is good except for at the end you get basically 6 enhancement prisms for free. So everything in there is going to be sunset. Nothing in there can be used in pretty much anything, especially when you look at Europa and a lot of the things on Europa being literally 1250 power, like that one Brig that can show up in all the areas. He's legitimately 1250 power. So when you get this 1060 sunset garbage from this campaign, how can you still justify selling it? I feel like Bungie put a lot of work into making these campaigns, into making a lot of this old content, and removing it, it just doesn't make sense. And then keeping it in the game while effectively removing its usefulness makes even less sense. I would rather they sunset this campaign completely than try and force me to play it to get some bounties and get some special things on my Titan. It just doesn't make sense to me that nothing in there is relevant, and they're still forcing people to pay for this and forcing people to play through it for some certain things, such as unlocking the mission for Season of the Hunt or getting bounties from Eris so that they can actually get some good XP per week. Because if you didn't know, you actually had to beat the Shadowkeep campaign to get weekly bounties. I just learned this recently. I think this may even be a bigger problem in Forsaken, because I think the Forsaken story is definitely one of the better things that Bungie has come out with in recent years. The Forsaken story was a banger. The Forsaken story had all of those barons, that had a bunch of cool armor sets, weapons, all the things from the Tangled Shore, but they're sunset now. Legitimately, you're going to be getting blues dropped during these stories that are going to be higher than the weapons that you're getting, the Reverie Dawn pieces, and just everything that would be from that campaign specifically. And I just don't see any logic in that. I honestly do not understand what Bungie was doing there. Sunsetting as a whole makes sense to me, because you really do want to change up the metas, and we have seen a huge change in the meta. No longer is it Mountaintop Recluse 21% Delirium is the only thing that you're seeing in PvE. Now everyone's actually trying out some different things, and we're seeing a shotgun meta, which is really cool. But there's so many things in the game, just so many things that I could go over that are still existing, and literally there's no reason to do them. Like Shattered Throne, for example. Shattered Throne is a great dungeon. Dungeons are really cool. They're really fun activities. There is no reason to do that unless you want Wish Ender, and Wish Ender is not that good, so no one's really grinding out Wish Ender. no one is doing Shattered Throne, and they put time into making that, so I don't get why they are keeping this in the game, but also forcing players not to play it, because I guarantee down the line they're going to go and talk in a future season and say, hey, we're sunsetting the Shattered Throne because no one plays it. But no one's playing these things because there's literally no reason to do it. You're just wasting your time because you get nothing. And that is what I think Bungie has really failed in doing. I really do think that they should bring up the infusion caps of all of these items if they're going to keep them in the game. The items on the moon were really good. The items on the Dreaming City were also really good. And if they're still going to exist as locations, why can't we actually use the weapons? So what do you guys think? Do you think that they should increase the infusion cap, or do you just think that they should leave these as useless, or do you just want them to remove them from the game? Leave a comment down below on what your opinion is on just everything related to this kind of content, because I'm interested to see what people think. There have been a lot of different just opinions on sunsetting as a whole, so this may be a heated debate. I don't think it should be, because I feel like every player would enjoy more content. If I could get powerfuls from these old dungeons, or if I could at least get usable gear from these old dungeons, like the Blasphemy shotgun, that would be pretty cool, because I honestly didn't experience a lot of this loot because I wasn't really grinding in Shadowkeep that much. I played the beginning of it, but I didn't really sweat the dungeon a lot, so I never truly got to experience those weapons, and I definitely can't use them now because they are way under the power cap. But that's pretty much going to be all for my conversation on what I think Bungie's biggest mistake with this DLC has been. If you have any more things that you want to talk about this DLC and what you think Bungie did wrong, definitely do leave another comment down below about that. But honestly, I think that's all I gotta say for today. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, smash that like button, maybe even subscribe. And yeah, I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace out.